Do not move to Dubai in 2025 without watching this video. My name is Anne Ionu. I am a Nigerian businesswoman who recently moved from Dubai to Germany. There's a side of Dubai that doesn't make it to the internet, and having lived there myself, I've seen it all, the bad, the good, the ugly, and some of the things people do not talk about. In today's video, all those things are things we are going to be talking about. Before we get into this video, we just need to clear up a few things. Dubai is not the name of the country. The name of the country is United Arab Emirates. Dubai is an emirate in the UAE. Also, we have other emirates in the UAE, such as Abu Dhabi, which is the capital of the UAE. We also have Ajman, Sharjah, and then Dubai. Now, let's get straight into the video. Firstly, let's talk about all the good parts of the UAE. The obvious one and the most popular one is Dubai is one of the safest countries in the entire world. This I can tell you for a fact as a woman who has lived there. And if you're a woman thinking about going to Dubai and one of the thoughts you have in your mind is Dubai going to be safe enough for me to live in? I want you to know that Dubai is safe for you to live in. The second part is Dubai is beautiful. Dubai is one of the most beautiful cities I have seen, with all its beautiful architecture, landscape, and every other thing. When you go to Dubai, you would not want to leave, trust me. Before you pack your bags and make your way to the UAE, make sure you do these two things. Trust me, it's really going to help, because what you see about Dubai on social media is not the reality of living full-time in Dubai. The first one is get a 3-month visa, visit Dubai. Look around, find a job if you don't have a job, because trust me, getting a job in Dubai is an extreme sport. It's extremely difficult to find a job in Dubai because the competition is really high. So book a flight, go to Dubai, spend 3 months, find an apartment, leave, try to explore the country and different cities. See if the country is a good fit for you, because trust me, what you see on social media is not what it is in the UAE. The second point is make sure you have 6 months of emergency funds saved somewhere. Trust me, this is very important. If you do not take anything from this video, make sure you listen to this part, especially if you are a Nigerian or you're from Ghana or you're from any other African country. This is important. Dubai is a fast city. You might wake up one morning and it's 6 months already. You don't have a job, you don't have where to live, and you're just in that country depressed, frustrated, and you don't know what to do. These 6 months of emergency fund should cover accommodation and feeding. This would give you a breathing space to be able to find a job if you don't have a job before moving to the country, which I personally do not advise. Make sure you find something to do before you go to Dubai. Find a job or something you already do before you move to Dubai. It is very important. Now let's talk about the cost of living in Dubai. Dubai is really expensive to live in. Do not let anybody come on social media and tell you that with $1,000 you can live comfortably in Dubai, you can drive a Ferrari, you can drive a Porsche, you can live your best life, you can do all the flamboyant things you see on social media. Do not allow anybody deceive you. I recently moved from Dubai to Germany about 2 months ago, and this I can tell you for a fact, Dubai is expensive, especially when it comes to housing. The apartment I lived in the UAE up until 2 months ago, I packed my bags and made my way to Germany. I was paying about 7,000 AED. This 7,000 AED was inclusive of all bills. That's about $2,000. In Naira, that should be somewhere around 3.5 to 3.6 million Naira every month was what I paid as rent. And this cost is just my house rent. This is not inclusive of feeding, car bills, and every other cost. This apartment was just a 2-bedroom apartment. At the end of the month, I saw myself spending around 10,000 to about 12,000 dirhams in total for feeding, house rent, car bills, a little bit of shopping here and there, and this cost came down to about 10 to 12,000 AED. If you just want a studio, the cost can go from somewhere around 2,500 up until 7,000, 10,000 AED, depending on the location of the studio. But just know that if you need to live in a decent apartment, it doesn't come cheap. So if you're trying to budget for an apartment in the UAE, make sure your budget is around $1,000. This would be for something really simple. But if you want something downtown or a really nice villa, your budget should be somewhere around $4,000 up until $10,000 or even higher. Also, there are other cheaper means of accommodation such as bed space. So let's take for example this space about 6 people would share with bunk bed. So what you pay for is either the up bunk or down bunk, which can go somewhere around 200 to 700 AED depending on where the apartment is located. Now let's talk about tax in the UAE. It is no news that you don't get to pay tax in the UAE. What this means is that when you get paid a salary, the government does not charge you any form of percentage to be paid back to them. You get your salary in full, unlike other countries around the world. But personally, I feel like the taxes we don't get to pay, it's being taken from us indirectly, and I'll quickly explain this. The cost of fines in the UAE is really high if you've ever lived or visited the UAE. Let's talk about traffic fines and how I feel like the government makes so much money just from fines in the UAE. At some point in Dubai, I almost decided to just park my car and no longer use it because of how much I was spending on just fines alone. Imagine if you go out and you forget to pay for your parking or anything at all. The cheapest fine you will get is about 200, 300 AED. That should be somewhere around $60 to $70 per fine, and it can go higher than that. If you have a traffic fine, maybe you beat the red light or you're driving on a certain speed limit, it can go up to about 1,000 AED up until 10,000 AED depending on how severe your fine is. I personally feel like the government makes so much money off just fines alone. I know the fines are put there to make sure that there is law and order in the country, but personally I feel like it is too expensive. Now let's talk about passports. If you're thinking of going to the UAE with the hopes that after a couple of years you would get a passport, if you've not heard it anywhere before, I need you to hear it here today. When you live in the UAE, you do not get a passport. The highest thing they will give you is a golden visa, a 10 years golden visa, meaning the visa would cover you and your family for 10 years, but you do not get a passport. So this is important for people who come from third world countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and other parts of the world, that you think, okay, I go to the UAE, after a couple of years, I'm going to get a passport. It will not work. So if your goal is to get a passport after living in the UAE for a couple of years, then I'm sorry, the UAE is not the place for you. You have to find somewhere else. Now let's talk about social media in the UAE. A lot of people don't talk about this because social media in the UAE is highly controlled. You cannot post any negative news or anything that portrays the UAE in a negative light on social media. So before you pack your bags and go to the UAE, and if you're somebody who likes to air their opinion, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, just know that there would be consequences. As long as that your opinion does not portray the UAE in a really good light, there would be consequences. Now let's talk about public display of affection, popularly known as PDA. I've gotten a lot of questions from people asking me, and is it true that in the UAE, when you hold hands, you would go to jail? If you hold hands in the UAE with your significant other, you do not go to jail. If you sit in public with your significant other, gisting, chatting, you would not go to jail. That is in public. But if you are caught in public kissing or any form of sexual tension between you and your significant other, you would either be given a fine or you will go to jail. So just have this at the back of your mind. Unlike other countries, like here in Europe, you can see people kissing and doing all sorts of things in public. In the UAE, I'm sorry, you cannot do that. This next point is for my African brothers and sisters. Whether you're from Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, any African country at all, in 2025, do not go to the UAE if you do not have a job or a business. If anybody does not tell you this on the internet, let me be the first person to tell you that what you see on social media about the UAE is not the reality. A lot of the people you see on social media posting luxury cars, luxury houses, living the lifestyle, a lot of them are going through a lot. It is either rented, borrowed. Do not let anybody pressure you on the internet. What you see on social media is not the reality of living in Dubai. Most of them are living on either credit card debts or they are taking huge loans to do this. Most of them are even going as far as buying fake shopping bags, taking pictures of them and posting them on the internet. Do you know you can rent a Porsche or a Ferrari for as low as 100 AED, take pictures with it and post it on social media, and people would think that you have money? Do not be pressured. A lot of things you see on the internet is not real. A lot of these people are lying to your faces. So don't be pressured. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you check. Do everything you need to do before you pack your bags to come to the UAE. Do not allow anybody deceive you that when you come to the UAE, it's going to be rosy. The next point is alcohol. Can you take alcohol in the UAE? Is alcohol allowed in the UAE? Yes, you can take alcohol in the UAE as long as you have an alcohol license. This license, you can get it from all the government approved places where they sell alcohol. You can get the license. I think it's about $60. That should be around 200-300 AED, and that will cover you for 1 year. Because for every time you want to buy alcohol from an outlet that has been approved by the government, you have to show them your alcohol license before alcohol will be sold to you. The second thing is you cannot drink and get drunk in public. If you get drunk in public, you will go to jail. So just make sure you have that in mind. The next point is dressing. How do I dress in the UAE? Do I need to always cover up and wear certain outfits? Before you pack your bags and make your way to the UAE, have it at the back of your mind that it's an Arab country and dressing modestly is very important. You cannot wear your bikini and let's say you wear a thong and a bra and walk in public. If it's not the beach or some places that you can wear that, you would be arrested. So trying to wear decent clothing, nobody is looking at what you wear, but when you're naked or almost half naked in public, you would be arrested and you will go to jail. So just make sure you have that in mind. You can wear your denims, your shorts, your skirts, your any other outfit you want to wear, but just make sure it is decent and you're properly covered. Finally, would I be recommending the UAE to anyone who wants to move there in 2025? My answer is no, I won't be recommending the UAE to anyone who wants to move there in 2025, especially if you're a Nigerian, an African who is going there to live, work. I would not recommend it for you. It is not a place you should go. If you want to go there to vacation, it is the best place for vacation. You're going to have the time of your life. But living in the UAE, personally, I do not recommend. Find other countries. If you have money to invest, if you have money to buy properties and do stuff, there are other countries you can actually invest in that you can get investment by citizenship if that is your goal. If you want to have a passport or anything, there are other countries you should look out for. The UAE, for Nigerians, for Africans, I personally do not recommend you. We've come to the end of this video. Don't forget to drop all your questions in the comment section. I'll be reading all your comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, comment, tag your family and friends, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.